Welcome, my beautiful souls. This is a pick a card reading, but this is from your spirit guides. So before you choose a pal or a reading, like I like to call them, remember this. You're not choosing the message. The message has already been waiting for you. So let's see which one is calling your name. Reading 1, reading 2, or reading 3. Trust your intuition. Trust that your spirit guides already knew you'd be here. And let's go ahead and begin. So we are going to start with reading number 1. What do your guides really want you to know right now, and why? I'm going to bring the lid down and let's begin. I'm talking quiet because I can already feel our guides connecting, and it's interesting how it always brings the tone of my voice down. So let's begin. 3 of Swords. By the way, I'm using the Tarot of Dreams, the Psychic Tarot, and 1 major arcana for each reading. So the 3 of Swords, heartache and loss. The Queen of Cups, faith, Hierophant. And the first thing I want to say is I notice how, number 1, the Queen, she has her back to the 3 of Swords. So this heartache and loss, it's already happened. I feel that. Not only that, but at this moment, the 3 of Swords is mirroring the Hierophant. And here, it's called faith. You can see this person is like in a praying pose, looking for wisdom. This is a 5, so it does speak of change. And literally, I feel like God, please help me with this change. Please help me in the direction I choose. And why am I feeling that? Well, I have a feeling the Queen of Cups is part of that. Because her back is to the 3 of Swords, I feel like, I don't feel like she's forgotten the heartache or the heartbreak. But I do feel that she has put it behind her. And I'm saying that I'm saying it because I feel it. But also, if you just notice, she has her cup in front of her. So I feel like this queen is looking for fulfillment of this cup. She may be praying, putting affirmations out there. But the one thing I feel is she must be ready for change because she's looking right at it. And the Hierophant, by the way, is a card of Taurus. I should have said that. But it really is about, when you see a 5, it does want you to question. Well, it depends what the 5 is, but here it's like your morals. Are you living life according to your standards, to your morals? Probably in the past, maybe not so much, or this is what you've been evolving into. Well, let's see what else we get. Material and spiritual prosperity. Well, that's the first thing I felt about the Queen, is the one thing she has is her spirituality, is her faith. And she kind of feels unshakable. Like, yeah, someone shook me in the past, but not anymore. I love this image. This person is like, it's like they're standing over their estate in this sense of, well, proudness, humble. Look at what I've grown. Look at what I can grow. This is a great omen, not only for your spirituality, which I feel like is a big part here, but also your material, your wealth. your creativity, really, in whatever it is you want to build. I have a feeling this queen has spent some time like building something, and maybe the one area that she doesn't quite have fulfillment is in that cup. Positive movement forward. And you know what I was going to say also is, if you look at the Hierophant, which is a 5, added to the 3 of Swords, a 3, it is an 8. So it is about a new beginning. But what I love is this is a new beginning, but with spiritual understanding. To me, that means that whoever this reading is for, you have had truly growth within your spirituality. And I feel like any plans, any ideas or epiphanies that you may have, I feel like this is a time to listen. Like this is the time. Well, I feel like she has already put plans in place, and now it's about receiving the guidance. Look at that recognition and reward. Wow. Mirroring material and spiritual prosperity coming under the Hierophant faith. Ah, hello, Destiny. Hello, Will. The one thing I can say when you see Destiny, everything that's happened, and I know some people don't like it when I say this, but I feel like in the 3 of Swords, where that heartache and that loss was, I have a feeling it taught. Like it wasn't just about the pain of the situation. I feel like it is where some of you have found through the hardship, you really found your own potential. It feels like naturally energy that has been eclipsed out of your life. But it's because I feel like there's greater purpose here. How do I love that the 3 of Pentacles just showed? Recognition and reward. And here you are over here, proud. Listen, you may just be in the building stages, but keep your faith alive because everything, especially relating to money, feels like it's just about to take off. Like those blessings are right around the corner. And then her cup. Well, this may be someone who, yes, I want love. But I feel like this is someone who is, they're choosing themselves. You're choosing yourself. And, I feel like love will come if that's what if I feel like I'm lacking it. But here's the thing, I don't really feel like the queen is in the energy of feeling lack. I feel like quite the opposite. Like I feel like this queen, and now this queen can be a king, by the way. Um, she's looking for emotional fulfillment, but where she's finding it is within herself. It's within her own ideas, her own epiphanies, and trusting that. The 3 of Pentacles, which here is called recognition and reward, it is all about being your unique self. If this queen was praying for clarity of any kind, she received it. Not only do I feel like, some of you may be like, but I haven't received it yet. Well, that's what this 8 is about. A new beginning. Remember also, 8 is the number of infinity, as above, so below. It makes sense with faith being here, or the Hierophant. And this is positive movement forward. So I feel like some of you are about to receive this recognition. This could be a job promotion. But for some of you, I feel like you may have started your own thing, like you're doing your own thing. And boy, do I feel like your guides are supporting you. This is a reminder that you don't need to be anyone else than yourself. This is written in your destiny. But even if it's written in your destiny, what I want you to remember is it doesn't mean the ending is written. The beginning is written. The seed was planted, and now it's harvest time. And by the way, that harvest time came after such, some energy that wasn't easy. But what I'm really noticing is how this queen, again, is put the past in the past. She's thinking about her. What do I want to do? What do I want to create? And I feel like with the wheel, your destiny, your epiphanies are going to be clear. So your guides are really connecting with you. This queen, if nothing else, is, well, I feel like she carries this independent spirit. All right. I'm just going to take one or two, well, whatever comes out over the reading. This is the Gilded Tarot. We have the Four of Pentacles and the Six of Swords. Six of Swords. Hang on, my ring is all messed up. Six of Swords is moving on. Some may have moved from an actual home, heading towards another one. Heading towards what I feel, I'm going to say your real home. Now, that doesn't mean like if this was a family home, that wasn't your real home, but I feel like for your soul. What is she moving on from? Well, toxicity. We already know she's moving on from the Three of Swords. So, if someone broke my heart, whether that be through love, through words, whatever it may have been, she's not accepting it anymore. She's making the changes that she feels are important in her life. And that alone is helping her reach success. This, my friends, is like a very successful journey. But it starts with trusting yourself. It starts with not accepting, if there were naysayers in your life, like you may have had a certain dream and other people may have been like, oh, that'll never happen. Well, this is the energy where the queen would say, hang on to your hat. Watch me. So I like this because even though, yes, the past wasn't easy, it was probably the past that taught me so much. It was probably the heartache that made me choose myself now. And because I choose myself, it's like your creativity, your opportunities just start opening left and right. And this is what I'm hearing. Like, don't think small here, think big. Even if it's small steps, I have this feeling it's going to turn into, well, your baby. Your baby. your business, your success, your spiritual prosperity, and your material prosperity. And where is it all coming from? Your creativity. And what started the ball rolling? You trusting within your faith. So, how long was it between the Six of Swords or the Three of Swords and the Queen now looking at the Hierophant? It's going to be different for different people. But even if you think about the Six of Swords, like, what am I moving on from? Go back to the Five of Swords. That's the toxic energy. And by the way, that can come from anywhere. Sometimes it comes from our family because I do feel like some of you are in actual movement. Like, I don't want to live here anymore. And therefore, you don't. This message feels very important. And it feels like it's meant to empower you. Like, believe in your dreams. Don't dream small. Even if you take small steps, it will eventually lead to your prosperity. It feels like it's already written. It's already written. But you hold the pen and paper, so you will write the ending. And I love the prosperity down here. And I love how it doesn't just speak to material prosperity, but your spiritual growth. I have a feeling that was the key that unlocked the door to this next chapter. Goodbye, heartache. Goodbye, toxicity. Hello to the rest of my life. Okay, I'm going to let that one be. And we'll keep those up. And we are going to move into reading number 2. And I should have said it in the beginning, sometimes more than one reading will call to you. And I don't feel like there's any right or wrong, like it's whatever calls to you. Remember, these messages have been waiting for you. Okay, here we go. Number 2. I don't know why I feel excited. Ooh, Tower. Interesting how both readings so far opened up with difficult energy. But look at that. Six of Swords. The Fool. I have to say, I love what I'm seeing. Foundation and achievements. Power. This is the Strength card. Card of Leo. Number 8. Partnerships and alliances. Wow. And then, hello, Moon. So the Moon it's a card of Pisces, ruler of Cancer. The Moon talks about dreaminess. The Moon can be, for some, a little fearful. And why would that be? Because I can only see as far as the moonlight allows me to see. But maybe that's as far as I'm meant to see. Again, keeping in mind that we hold the pen and paper. So, we start with the Tower. Disruption. Can feel like destruction. But boy, do I feel like this tower needed to happen. Why? Well, again, the Six of Swords. There was toxicity that lied in that tower. I often feel like in the tower, like someone fell from grace. Someone fell from our grace. Maybe so much so that I knew I couldn't take it anymore. This is someone in motion. And I have to say, many of you, I know that your spirituality, I can't talk today, has grown leaps and bounds. And this is why I feel like we're seeing more and more in the readings where I'm having those realizations of what is not working in my life, and I am choosing to do and be better. I'm choosing me. And by the way, if I say me or I'm just you. And how do I love that the Fool is mirroring the Tower? So this Tower taught you something, because the Fool would definitely reflect upon the last, let's say, chapter, but only to gain the wisdom of it. This is someone who is able to put down the pain and only, it's like, I'm not going to carry the weight of yesteryear, just the wisdom. This is about getting ready to take a leap of faith. Because you just might be meeting someone. Look how they're holding each other. Not a normal handshake. Hey, how do you do? It's almost like a soul recognition. But it lies on the Fool's path, not on the Tower's path. I have a feeling some of you may have been like in a committed relationship that, for whatever reason, didn't stay that way. Interesting. I feel like a lot of people are in movement, and it doesn't have to mean physical movement, but there's definitely movement here. And then the Strength card, all that you've overcome. I kind of love this under the Six of Swords, because as the Fool, when you see the Fool, and the Fool is always you, this is the clearing of what was. This is the understanding of what was. And this is you recognizing that by overcoming, what it actually gives you is courage. And you don't lose that. You don't lose that. Here it's called power. But I feel like you receive a badge of courage. It's also an 8. I'm just wondering, who is on the horizons for you? I'm going to bring that up a little bit. So I'm going to bring in the Gilded Tarot, and I want to look at that. Because I feel like, listen, this can be a combination of energy. Number one, I feel like energy, if you're looking for someone to collaborate with, or like you're open to possible invitations to collaborate, I have a feeling it will just happen. I don't feel like you have to actively be searching for it. I feel like it'll be searching for you. We get the King of Pentacles. Can be Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. But what I'm looking at is the Fool with the Three of Pentacles. So this is someone in the upright, which he did show in the upright. I often feel is loyal. I feel this is someone that we can depend on. Someone who probably, for some of you, it may be a job offer. But why am I feeling something even a little deeper than that? This could be collaboration that then turns deeper. Let's use that word, deeper. Interesting. We get the Five of Cups and then the Four of Swords. Okay. First thing I feel is that this king is someone's healing soulmate. This king feels like it may be someone that you already know with sitting next to the Five of Cups. I don't necessarily feel like, I mean, you could have been in love, but it does feel like back in the day. Yet I feel like this king or queen is coming into your life. How it's like they're feeling the call. This could be someone who had a crush on you, but maybe didn't speak it. And if you think about the Five of Cups, five, change, right? But what is this person doing? They're focusing on the cups that have been knocked over. And that's the Tower, for sure. But there's two cups that sit behind that change. You know, this is why I often say the day will come where we will look at that tower in a completely different light. Like, if that tower didn't happen, well, this soulmate may not have arrived. Some of you may have had these dreams lately. Like, just this feeling that someone is coming into your life. You may not be able to put like a name to it, though I just did for you. Um, and I do want to say, I feel this is a healing soulmate. This is someone who, you know, they feel like they're right on time. You may have said, why didn't you come early? Why didn't you come before that tower? Well, that was probably a soul's lesson. And, you know, the one thing your guides will not do is stop you from learning a soul's lesson, even if it's difficult. And most of the time they are difficult. But this is how you become so wise. And the Fool marrying the Tower means I'm not hanging on to the past. I'm letting it go. But it doesn't mean like I'm letting it go and I'm completely healed and fine, because I feel like this king is a soulmate. And I feel this king, maybe more than you, has felt a calling to you. Okay, so I want to ask your guys, am I on the right track here? Okay, so we just got two cards turned around. The Nine of Cups in the upright. It is inner harmony and fulfillment of wishes. In reverse, maybe not so much. But here's the thing. It's connected to the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords in the upright. Not energy we can trust. I call this person my little liar. This is someone who definitely takes more than their fair share. And I feel like the reason why this is in reverse is because some of you may now be single. And life may not feel perfect yet. this is in reverse. This means that we can trust this king. That may be why I said right from the get go that I felt the loyalty. Some of you may have just become single. And this would make sense that the king somehow, some way hears about that. And that may be why I feel like they could have potentially like had a secret crush on you. Because I feel like you don't have a clue. But how great will that be? How surprising will that be? Because I feel like this person's going to reach out. And I 100% feel like you can trust them. But think of the full step by step, step by step. I love the Three of Pentacles here right now because it means that you're being appreciated for exactly who you are. It's interesting because I do feel like back in the day, and almost like this king has watched you being mistreated. And I bet everything in them wanted to step forward. It reminds me of like I was in love with my best friend's girlfriend or my best friend's boyfriend. But what can I do? I can't cross my friend. I mean, I know some do, but I feel like this king didn't. Why? Because I feel like that's not who he is. But my God, now that I hear you're single, well, that changes everything. That changes everything. And something I feel like this king would say to you? I got you, babe. I got you, babe. But I mean it. Like, I got you. I will be there for you in all areas whenever you need me. Boy, I just got another song. Interesting because the 5 and the 4 add up to a 9. We have the 9 over here. I may have thought the person in the past was a soulmate. And, they could have been a karmic soulmate, though I'm not really feeling that. I'm feeling more free will. Yet you have a soulmate. Here he is, or her, and they have a purpose. And their purpose is to help you heal. But you will do the same for them. Boy, I just feel like you're going to love each other. You're going to love each other. And if you have any fear, go slow. I feel like this person will prove themselves to you. And I want to say it's going to come more through their actions than their words. Because when I think of the King of Pentacles, I feel like this is someone who may not express their feelings as much as they show them. Like they show them through, like my guy is the King of Pentacles. And he cooks dinner for us every night. And to me, that's just amazing. Like because I don't like to cook. And he knows that. And that's what I mean when I say this king will show you. Now, it doesn't mean that they won't speak it because they feel they will. And maybe you're not used to that. Maybe you're used to like all talk and no action. And now you have the opposite. Whatever I say, I mean. And I just feel like this person if you at least take a step forward, I feel like they're going to feel like the luckiest person in the world. Wow. Like what your guides are allowing me to feel right now is the joy and the excitement of this reconnection. And I can't believe I actually have a chance here. And they do have a chance because I feel like this is potentially the love of your life, the love that will last for the rest of your lives. Wow, this feels powerful. Okay, I'm going to let that be. And for some of you, you've already moved into that energy. And I would love if you'd leave comments like letting everyone know because sometimes people feel like, that's impossible. That'll never happen. But then they start reading the comments like, okay, well maybe it can happen. Okay. We got little birdies chirping outside right at my window. Some of you have birds as spirit guides, what I just heard. They're chirping right at our window. I hope you can hear that. Okay. Hello, Knight of Cups. Unexpected cup of fulfillment. Wow. Hello, Palace of Cups. Hermit. Card of Virgo. Looking right at that palace. Oh my God. Hello, love begins. Ace of Cups. Wow, wow, wow. So, before I even move on, I just have to say, this night, I feel like every night will complete their mission, come hell or high water. Whether you accept it or not is up to you. This night says, I bring in a cup of fulfillment, and literally right below it is their fulfillment, is their promise. And here it says, love begins. Wow. That's probably why the Empress. Holy cow, this one's powerful. Five of Cups. Interesting. Oh my gosh. And then the Empress again. Okay, first thing I want to say is I would not be surprised if some of you have mother figures who have crossed over, who have become such an important part of your guidance. Like the one who steps forward. I feel like different guides step forward for different things. Well, I mean the mother figure stepping forward as it relates to love. I feel like who would know better? Who would know better? I feel like someone may be a single mom right now and may have been really concentrating on, well, I feel like let's look at the hermit, right? The hermit is seeking wisdom, spiritual wisdom, but to use on this earthly plane. The hermit's really seeking the light. And our guides say it all the time to me, to us. All you need to do is seek it, and ye shall find it. The hermit represents going through the dark night of the soul, but coming out the other end wiser than you've ever been. This is why I feel like the Empress is in. I feel like this is mother figures. That's what I just heard. Mother figures. So mothers, big sisters, aunts, grandmas. But I am feeling feminine energy. And here I feel like this is more about someone who has gone through, maybe different phases of love. Um, but the one thing they have learned is how not to close their heart down. Because what's right next to it, the Five of Cups? Well, it's not the Empress who would be in this emotional loss. It's really the Empress who would be open to this Ace of Cups. Doesn't mean she would naturally be like, oh yeah, I'll accept that ace. But she trusts her intuition above all. The Hermit is a great representation of that. Like, I feel like the Hermit is a wise old soul, and so is the Empress. When the Empress thinks, she thinks big. So it doesn't surprise me that the Palace of Cups is above that. And it's like, I feel like this is saying love of yesteryear were really the stepping stones to my ultimate love. This Empress feels like she's being guided, like I feel that she feels it, and therefore trust it. And I feel like she's about to fall in love. She's about to fall in love. And I don't feel like it's just with anyone. This is guided. And how quickly it happens. I say how quickly, but let's step back for a second and think again about the Hermit. When you see a 9, it's about reflection. It wants you to reflect back. And if you think how we run in 9-year cycles, 2025 was the year of the Hermit. There's a 5 right below it. Everything I learned, but through the dark, is really what gives me the light. So, this is not someone who is like, woe is me. I don't feel like this Empress is concentrating on past love. Quite the opposite. And I have a feeling she's not even expecting love. I feel she's open to it. But I feel like she's got a lot of things on her plate. Looks like her heart chakra is being activated. All right, let's bring out the Yoda Tarot. How about passion rushing in? Another night. So you will feel this energy. Some of you may feel it before it even arrives. But once it arrives, it feels like it's love right off the bat. Again, it doesn't have to mean that I'm jumping right in. I'm going full force, but I'm going to put my foot in the water. The Tower, and then the Queen of Pentacles. I also want to say, for some who may be in a same-sex relationship, this could certainly be representing like the change of queens or the change of kings. The Queen of Pentacles is my psychic detective. This is someone who has learned to read between the lines. This is someone that if I had a contract, I would take to her. Because she will find those hidden clauses. But I'm really relating it to life itself. I feel like for some of you, your psychic abilities are really opening up. And it feels like just in time, not just in time. How do I want to say this? Right on time. Right on time. So this Empress is about to fall in love. this Empress is going to be presented with the Ace of Cups. But I feel like the energy of this love arrives before the actual love arrives. And I feel every bit that this Empress is ready. I feel, and again, I don't feel like this Empress has had an easy life. I often don't feel that with the Empress. I feel the Empress has gone through all the lessons of the Queens, but comes out the other side with understanding. And that's really what the Hermit's about. It's the understanding of everything that's taught me, how I have evolved into the person I am today. And therefore, what comes in next feels like it is meant to be. Remember, the Empress doesn't have walls up. Her intuition is her GPS. So when this ace comes, well, first comes the feeling, and then comes the love. Guided from above. And do I think the Empress is going to say yes? I do. I do. Because again, she can tell the difference between lower vibrational energy or lower vibrational love and love that matches the vibration that she's in now. Like another way of saying is the Empress has worked too hard, too long to improve her life, to improve herself, to just give it away to anyone. She's not going to do that. But again, it's not walls that protect her, it's her intuition. So when love comes in, she's not someone's going to automatically say no. I won't say that no fear comes up. I think that's just normal, but it'd be more like butterflies. But I don't want to like put I don't want to put any, what's the word I'm looking for? Stagnation where it doesn't need to be. Something is telling me to do it. Take a couple more cards. I'm going to do that. The Two of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups, and Page of Wands, who I call my fool. This is my risk taker. That's why I call him my fool. This is someone who has definitely taken chances and now understands that, of course, not all the chances are going to pay off, but I probably learned something from everything. And this is someone who's learned to get back on the horse again. That would be the Empress's energy. But I have a feeling this is also relating to who's coming in. And what I love is I feel like the Empress is asking one simple question. Have you cleared the past? Is there anything that you are emotionally tied to? Because if that's the case, then I'll have to pass. But I feel like they're going to pass your test. They're going to pass it. They're going to pass it. And by the way, I just want to add one more thing. Because this Ace of Cups, I do feel it's love. I mean, hello, the Knight of Pentacles or the Knight of Cups is bringing it in, and then it actually shows. But I also feel this is someone who is really starting to enjoy their lives, with or without love. This is someone who, like, I feel the sense of, if I have love, great. But I have plenty of things to keep me busy at the same time. But I feel like our Empress is going to fall in love. I feel like our Empress is going to live in the Palace of Cups. And I feel like our Empress deserves that. And by the way, I feel you are the Empress. You are the walrus. And even the Two of Pentacles coming over the Ace of Cups. The Two of Pentacles, first of all, it's not a fear based energy. You're asking yourself, is this cup, is it going to enhance my life or is it going to deplete part of my life? Some may say, do I have time? I feel like the answer is yes, but it's everyone has their own choices to make. I still feel the answer is yes, though. So here I would say allow yourself to feel the current energy because I do feel it's current. And it's almost like your guides know you. Like if we don't, we know that if we don't allow them to feel this potential passion, they may turn their back on it. And I don't feel like anybody wants you to turn your back on it. And I also want to remind you this love is being sent from above. And I get this sense that it's being sent from someone who knows your soul. And what an honor it is for them to be able to usher this in for you. Like, I feel that. Okay, I'm going to let that be. I want to thank everyone. And again, if you made it to the end, if more than one reading resonated with you, trust that. Trust what your soul feels, not your human mind. Trust what your soul feels. And I'll let that be. I love you guys. I thank you. I hope, well, I know. I know that who these messages are for, I know they'll find you. And by the way, some of you may have like scrolled by and then something made you go back. I'm just going to see what that video is about. And then it's going to resonate with your soul. So, trust in that. Trust within you. Trust within your spiritual team. And let what wants to be, let it be. I love you. I thank you all. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye-bye.